All right, let's get right into it. If you're trying to land a remote job in 2025, you've probably noticed things are different. It is a whole new ballgame out there. And being a generalist, well, it just doesn't cut it anymore. So in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how to find your niche so you can stop competing and start winning.
I want to start with just one thing, this number, 3x. So what do you think that means? It means that, on average, a remote job gets 3 times the number of applicants as an in-office job. Think about that. Your competition isn't just local anymore, it's global. And that right there, that's the challenge we're tackling today. How do you possibly stand out when you're up against the best talent from literally everywhere?
And this really gets to the heart of what we call the generalist's dilemma. Having a wide range of skills used to be a huge plus, but in today's super crowded remote world, it just means you're one of thousands, which almost always leads to lower pay. The specialist, on the other hand, they're different. They have a very specific expertise that a specific group is desperately looking for, and that lets them command premium rates.
See, niching down isn't about limiting yourself, not at all. It's actually about making yourself the only logical choice for a very specific, very valuable problem. It's about being so good at that one thing that potential clients don't see anyone else. They just see you.
So that's the big question, right? How do you actually find that sweet spot? Because it's not just about chasing the latest trend or the biggest paycheck. The real goal here is to build something that aligns with who you are and what the market actually needs. And to do that, we're going to use a really powerful framework as our guide, the Japanese concept of ikigai. I love this. It's basically your reason for being. It's that magical intersection of what you love, what you're great at, what you can actually get paid for, and what the world needs. This isn't just about finding a job, it's about building a career that feels right, that feels sustainable. And Ikigai breaks this huge idea down into 4 simple, powerful questions you can ask yourself. So let's walk through how to figure this out, starting with the first 2 parts, the journey inward. All right, phase 1, the journey inward. Look, before you can even think about what the market wants, you have to get crystal clear on who you are. This is all about doing a deep, honest audit of your skills, your passions, and your core values. In this personal audit is your first real step. And you got to go deep. Don't just list your technical skills. Ask yourself, what work is so easy for you it feels like cheating? What subjects do you research for fun? And what kind of environment do you actually want to work in? Being honest here is everything. This is the foundation for your entire niche. Okay, so once you've done that internal work and you've got your personal map, it's time for phase 2, the journey outward. This is where the magic happens. We're going to take everything you just discovered about yourself and see where it connects with what the world is willing to pay for. And here is a massive insight. The most valuable, most profitable niches are almost always found at the intersection of 2 or more skills. For example, being a good software developer, that's great. But being a good software developer who also has a deep understanding of HIPAA compliance for the healthcare industry, now that is rare. That is valuable. So, what are your intersections? Now, to figure that out systematically, we're going to use a tool called the niche matrix. This is how you take this decision from just a gut feeling to an actual data-driven choice. You'll take your top ideas for a niche and you'll rate each one across these 4 key areas. For instance, when you're researching that market demand column, you'll find data that looks something like this. The projected job growth for a specialty like data science is a whopping 36%, while general roles are down at 3%. That's a 12x difference. This is the kind of hard data that tells you where the smart money is. Now, right about here, it is super common to feel completely stuck. It's called analysis paralysis. You see all these different paths, you're terrified of picking the wrong one, and so you end up picking nothing at all. Trust me, it's a real and frustrating hurdle. So how do you get past it? You have to reframe the entire decision. Your niche is not a life sentence. It's an experiment. That's it. Give yourself a deadline to decide. Start a tiny trial project on the side. Create a portfolio piece just to test the waters. Just remember this. Action creates clarity. You can't think your way to the right answer. You have to act your way there. And that leads us perfectly into our final phase, becoming the expert.
Once you've tested and validated your niche, the game changes. Now it's all about strategically positioning yourself so that everyone sees you as the go-to person in that field. And that starts with crafting your unique value proposition, your UVP. This is your power statement. It needs three things. One, a clear headline, no jargon, something like SaaS email sequence specialist. Two, it has to focus on the results you deliver. And three, you've got to back it up with proof. Case studies, testimonials. This is how you confidently answer the question, so why should I hire you? And of course, owning your niche means you can never stop learning. In a world where AI and tech are changing everything, standing still is the same as falling behind. Continuous learning isn't just a nice to have, it's an absolute strategic imperative. Your niche will evolve, and you have to evolve right along with it. So here's the blueprint. This is where your whole mindset shifts from applying for jobs to attracting opportunities. Every part of your online presence needs to scream your specialty. The content you create needs to prove you know your stuff. You need to be in the online communities where your ideal clients hang out. Do this, and opportunities will start coming to you. Okay, so that's the whole framework. But, just knowing this stuff doesn't change anything. You have to act on it. So let's boil all this down into a clear, step-by-step action plan you can start on today. Here it is, your 7-step plan. You start with that deep self-assessment. You identify a few potential niches, you validate them with the matrix, you run a small test project, you craft that powerful UVP, you build your online brand, and then you start networking strategically. This is your roadmap from being just another applicant to being a sought-after specialist. When you really embrace this, it changes everything. You're not just looking for a remote job anymore. You're building a business of one. So the question I'll leave you with is this: what problem are you going to become famous for solving?